Is Yogalates. For today's class, the equipment that we'll be using for the first part of our warm-up, which incorporates a lot of yoga, will be 1 or 2 blocks. If you don't have a block, you can of course always use a sturdy book, maybe a soft pillow. And then for our latter portion of the class, we'll be using a Pilates ring. If you don't have a ring, you can also use a block in lieu of it, or the substitute that you're using for a block. You can also use a pillow, proportionally squeezing the magic ring circle. You can also just imagine it. We'll be doing some stuff. We'll be laying on our side and placing the ring between our ankles, and you can just pretend. It just adds additional resistance when you're using that. We're going to go ahead and start in a kneeling position. So option to bring a block behind you, between your heels, coming down, having a seat on your heels. From here, bring your hands down towards your knees, round your spine, bringing your gaze towards your navel, coming into cat, and then drawing your hands towards your hips, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhale to press your hands forward, coming into kneeling cat. As you lift your gaze, draw your hands up towards your hips. One more time through, draw your arms down towards your knees. And then coming on up. Good, and come back, stack your shoulders directly over your hips. Draw your arms up high towards the ceiling. From here, cactus your arms, put your fingertips wide. Lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. Bring your gaze forward, arms come back up overhead. Draw your elbows down, lift your gaze. 2 more times, just like this. Drawing your gaze forward, arms come up. Draw your elbows down. Really spread your fingertips wide. Imagine you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Gaze comes forward, arms up overhead. Draw your elbows down. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring your gaze forward, arms come up high overhead. Draw your right hand down to the floor, left arm comes up high overhead. And then draw your left arm down, right arm comes up high overhead, right bicep to right ear. 2 more times on each side, right hand down to the floor. You can also place that hand on a block or a pillow. Left arm down. 1 more time on each side. Inhale, stretch. And then push yourself up. We're going to find a tabletop position. You can just release your block off to the side, bringing your wrists directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. From here, just pumping your hips side to side, organic movement, warming up those hips. Maybe rolling your neck from one side to the other. Go ahead and come back to center. Walk your fingertips towards the outside of your mat and just rolling from one side to the next. You can also just hold it in that position if that's a deep enough stretch for you. Come back to the center. Rotate your fingertips towards your knees. Now they can be directly facing the knees without forcing them. You can also have them at a diagonal. Option to just hold it here. You can also press your hips forwards and backwards, warming up the back side of your wrist, your forearms. And go ahead and come back to center. Draw your fingertips back toward the top of your mat, flipping your right palm over so your right palm is up towards the ceiling. And once again, holding it in that position if that's a stretch for you. You can also rock forwards and backwards for a deeper stretch. And then coming back through center, bringing your right palm down, flip your left palm over so your left palm is up towards the ceiling, right palm is down towards the floor, and then pressing your hips back and forward. Deepening that stretch on the left side. Come back to tabletop, flip your left palm over. From here, we're going to draw our right arm up towards the ceiling, under and through the left side body, thread the needle, reaching up, under and through. This time we're gonna hold that arm, hold it under here, holding and breathing. Option to extend your left arm. You can also keep it directly under your shoulder. You can extend that left arm. You can bind it around your right waist. You can also extend your left leg like a kickstand. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Extend your left leg if you haven't already. Keep it there. Place your left hand under your left shoulder if you had it lifted. Right arm comes up towards the ceiling and release it down. From here, we're going to draw that left leg directly out from our left hip. So I'm just going to rotate here. Try to keep that leg straight. We're going to come into gate pose. So your right knee is down, your left leg is straight. From here, your hands are still under your shoulders. We're going to press our hips back and forward. Press back and forward. From here, keeping your hips forward, walk your hands towards your knee. Throw your arms up high overhead. We're going to bring that left hand down to the left leg. Right arm comes up high overhead, feeling that stretch all down the right side body. And then draw your right hand down to the floor or to a block. You can keep your left leg glued to the floor, lifting your left arm. You can also lift that left leg and lower it if you have it lifted, coming back up. Left arm down, right arm comes up high overhead, feeling that deep sensation, that pull all along the right side body. Right hand comes down, left arm comes up, option to lift that left leg if you have it lifted, maybe lower and tap for 3, and 2, and 1. All right, lower that leg, come on up, stack the shoulders over the hips, arms come up high overhead, hands to heart center, fold forward, coming back to a tabletop position. Your wrists are directly under your shoulders. We're going to lift that left leg, try to keep it straight. Let's see if I have room behind me. All right, we're gonna bring it up and over that right side, planting your left pad of your foot, heel is lifted, looking over your right shoulder. I'm just going to pivot back this way. So you're stretching all along that left side body, looking over your right shoulder towards your left heel. Go ahead and bring that left leg straight back. Extend your left arm out in front. We're going to lift and lower for 5 and 4. That's 3 and 2. Hold it lifted. Crunch it in for 5 and 4. That's 3, 2, and 1 more. All right, extend, release that right palm, release your left knee, bump your hips side to side. All right, now we have the opposite side. Left arm comes up high overhead, opening the chest, under and through the right side body, up, reaching high, under and through. Once more, lifting up. This time, draw that left arm directly under your right shoulder, releasing your left ear, left cheek to the floor. You can extend that right arm long. You can keep it directly under your shoulder. You can also bind your left hand around your right waist. You can extend that right leg like a kickstand, feeling everything stretch here. If you have your right leg extended, keep it there. Go ahead and extend your right leg if you had it tucked in. Place your right hand to your shoulder, lifting up. Left arm comes up high. Draw your left arm down. From here, we're going to pivot that right leg up and over directly from the right hip. So we're not moving. We're trying to keep that leg straight. Ground through that nice side of your right foot. Your hands are still directly under your shoulders. From here, you can tuck or relax your left toes, press your hips back, and then come forward. Press it back, and forward. All right, hold it forward, shoulders stacked over your hips. From here, walk your hands to your knees, draw your arms up high overhead. Right hand comes down the right side of the body, left arm comes up high overhead. And then cartwheel your left hand down to the floor or block. Your right foot can stay pressed into the floor, right arm comes up high towards the ceiling. You can also lift that right leg, lower it down, cartwheel down, right hand to right ankle, left arm comes up high overhead. And then cartwheel down, left hand down, right leg lifts. Option to hold lifted, you can lower and tap for 3, and 2, and 1. All right, lower that leg, come back to center, draw your arms up high overhead, hands to heart center, walk it out to high plank. Well, your wrists are under your shoulders, tabletop or plank. From here, we're gonna pivot that right leg straight back and draw it up and over that left side, gazing over your left shoulder, feeling that stretch all along the right side body. Go ahead and draw that right leg straight back. Point the toes, extend your left arm out in front. We're gonna lift and lower for 5, and 4. That's 3, 2, and 1. Hold lifted, draw it in for 5, and 4. That's 3, and 2. Last one. All right, release your left hand, release your right knee, bump your hips side to side. All right, from here, we're gonna come into some flow. So place your block in front of you. Tuck your toes, bring your hands up, palm print forward, and lift your hips up, coming into downward facing dog. Maybe pedal your heels one at a time. From here, lift your left leg, 3-legged dog, flex your right toes, draw your right knee to your right elbow, kick it back, knee to nose, kick it back, draw your right knee to your left elbow, kick it back, go ahead and step your right knee in between your palms. From here, we're going to release the back knee, untuck the back toes. We're going to press the hips back, straighten that right leg, and press it forward. 2 more. Press it back, and forward. Once more. Hold the hips forward, keeping your left hand to the inside of your right foot, or on a block, reach your right arm high towards the ceiling. Circle out your right wrist. Maybe circle your shoulder forwards and backwards. We're going to tap that left palm for 3 and lift. That's 2 and lift. Last one. All right, go ahead and bring your right hand back down. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee, coming into low crescent here. From here, we're going to rise up. Draw your arms up high overhead. From here, extend your right arm back behind you. Left arm comes up, exalted warrior. Option to look to the back right side of your mat. You can also just keep your gaze up. Draw your arms up, gaze comes forward. One more time, just like that. Release your right hand down, left arm stays up. Release your right hand to the inside of your left leg. Maybe gaze back towards the right corner of your mat. Draw your arms up high overhead. All right, from here, cactus the arms, bend the elbows, dip the back knee for 3, and 2, and 1. All right, hold it here in high crescent. Your shoulders are stacked directly over your hips. That back foot is lifted. Maybe press forward into that right knee, lowering your hips. Maybe bend that back knee and straighten, deepening that hip stretch. From here, deep inhale, lengthen, exhale, pivot the left toes, come into warrior 2. That right knee is stacked directly over your right toes. Maybe you look down, you can see your big toe. That knife edge of your left foot is pressed into the floor. Arms are extended long. Come into extended side angle. Left arm comes up high overhead. Reverse. Come back to warrior two. From here, straighten that right leg. Bump your hips back. Extend your arms. Tick-tock your hands. Bringing that right hand down to the floor or to a block. Left arm comes up. You can challenge your balance by looking up. You can also look down to the floor. And reverse. Left hand tucks behind. Right arm comes up high overhead. Cartwheel down. From here, kick back. Three-legged dog. You can also release your leg and lower down for 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, mini cobra. Release down. Pressing all the way up. High plank. Downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. Catch your breath. We're going to do the same sequence with the left leg. So back to pedaling our heels. Hips are lifted. Biceps frame your ears. Gaze is towards your knees. Lower your heels to the floor. Lift your left leg. Flex your left toe. Draw your left knee to your left elbow. Kick it back. Knee to nose. Kick it back. Left knee to right elbow. Kick it back. Tuck your knee in towards your chest. Step through. Release your back. Right knee. Untuck your right toes. Press your hips back. Straighten your left leg. And forward. 2 more. Press it back. And forward. Alright, hold it forward. From here, release your left arm up towards the ceiling. Right hand can stay to the inside of your left foot with a block or just on the floor. Circle out your wrist. Circle out your shoulder forwards. And back. Hold that left arm lifted. We're going to tap down for 3. And lift. That's 1. And lift. Alright, go ahead and release your left hand down. Tuck your right toes. Let your right knee hover. Rise up, high crescent. Shoulders stacked over your hips. We're going to release that left hand back towards your right thigh. Right arm stays up. Option to gaze up. You can also challenge your balance by looking back to the back left corner, of your mat. Left arm comes up. Once more, release your left hand to the inside of your right thigh. Maybe bring your gaze to the back left corner of your mat. Right arm stays lifted. Go ahead and draw your left arm up. We're going to cactus the arms, dip the back knee for 3, and lift. That's 2, and 1. All right, hold in high crescent, relax your shoulders down. Maybe bend deeper into that left knee. Maybe bend your back right knee and then straighten, opening up that hip more. Deep inhale, exhale, pivot. Right knife edge of your foot is pressed into the floor. Arms are out to a T. Deep bend into that left knee. Holding and breathing. On your next exhale, release your left arm down. Right arm comes up high, extended side angle. Really lengthen towards that wall that you're reaching your right hand towards. And reverse. Right arm tucks back behind. Left arm comes up high overhead. Come back to warrior two. Tee out your arms. Straighten your front left leg. Bump your hips back. Tick-tock your arms. And draw your left hand down to your left leg. Right arm comes up high. Challenge your balance if you want. Gazing up. You can also gaze down. Coming up. Reverse. Left arm comes up. From here, cartwheel down to your left foot. We're going to step that left leg back. Option to hover it. You can also set it down. Hovering down for 3, 2, and 1. Mini cobra. Release down. Give me 1 mini cobra, 1 more. Release down. Keep your left hand directly under your shoulder. Extend your right arm directly out from your shoulder. Relax your right leg. Lift your left leg high. Draw it up and over the outside of your right hip. Maybe just resting your head down to the floor. Coming back to the middle. Placing your hands under your shoulder. Give me one mini cobra. Release down. This time, keep your right hand directly under your right shoulder. Extend your left arm long directly out from your shoulder. Relax your left leg. Lift your right leg up and over the outside of your left hip. Maybe just resting your head down towards the floor. You can also set it onto a block. Coming back to center. Give me one mini cobra. Press up. Release down. Walk your hands under your shoulders, pressing all the way up. Full cobra. Gaze up. Optional look over your left shoulder. Back to center. Over your right shoulder. Back to center. Lift up towards the ceiling. Lengthen your neck. Bring your gaze forward. Draw your hips back. Knees track open. Toes to touch. Press your hips back to child's pose. You can bring your forehead to the floor. You can bring it to a block. Holding here and breathing. Maybe tempt your fingers, lifting your palms off of the floor. Relax your shoulders. Release your hands back to the floor. Bend your elbows. Maybe bringing your thumbs to touch towards the nape of your neck. You can also just keep your hands towards one another, or you can just bend your elbows. Deepening that stretch by bringing your thumbs to the nape of your neck. Maybe walk your elbows further towards the temple of your head. Simultaneously pressing your hips towards your heels. Deep inhales, deep exhales, in and out through the nose. One more just like that. On your next exhale, go ahead and rise up. You can bring your hands down or keep your hands binded behind your head. All right, let's come on up to standing. Grabbing your ring. Again, you can use a block or a pillow. Feet are wider than your hips from here. Your arms are high up overhead. That ring is between your palms, so you can squeeze it. Arms come up high overhead. We're going to bend the elbows. We bend the knees, coming into a plie, squeezing that ring and lifting. 9 more. Squeeze and bend and lift. 8 more. 6 more. That's it. 4 more. And 3. That's 2. And 1. Hold it bent. Hold the knees bent. Bring that ring between your palms. Elbows are wide, so you're squeezing that ring between your palms. Your shoulders stacked over your hips. Toes are tracking out. We're going to draw the same elbow to the same knee. Lifting up. Same elbow to same knee. Lift up. You got 4 more on each side. Now I want you actively squeezing that ring. If it's a full circle, you're not squeezing hard enough. Really squeeze that ring. 3 more. Lift up. Same elbow, same knee. Lift up. 2 more. That's it. You've got it. Stay with it. Same elbow, same knee. 1 more on each side. All right, from here, hold at center. We're going to lift and lower the right heel. You got 4 more. Hold that squeeze. That's it. 2 more. Squeeze it deeper. Squeeze that ring, that pillow, that block. All right, lower that right heel. Lift and lower the left heel for 5. Hips stay low. Don't let those hips rise. You've got 3. That's it. 2 more. 1 more. Very nice. Go ahead and raise the hips. Shake out the legs. Draw that ring to your outer right hip. So it's between your outer right hip and your left palm directly out from your hip. Stand tall with your left leg. From here, we're going to lift that right leg and squeeze that ring. lift and squeeze, and lower. 8 more, lift and squeeze, and lower. You can always hold on to a bar or a ledge so you're not fully leaning into that left side. You want all the work to be in that right side leg directly out from the hip. Squeeze and lift, and lower. Flex your right toes, squeeze and lift, release and lower. You're working those arms. That's it. 4 more on the right side. You've got squeeze, lift, release and lower, squeeze, lift, release and lower. Give me 1 more. Very nice. Set the right leg down, shake it out. Same down the left side. So place that ring to the inside or the outside of your left hip and the inside of your left palm. Bring your feet hip width apart and parallel. Ground through your standing right leg. We're going to lift and lower that left leg. Squeeze and lift, release and lower. That's it. Of course, you can always use that wall so you're not actively leaning into that right side. Squeeze, lift, release to lower. 6 more. Stay with it. You've got it. We're coming down onto the floor after this. Squeeze, lift, release, lower. Keep the left toes flexed. That's it. 2 more. You've got it. So strong. Last one. All right. Shake out those hips. Come on down to the floor. And of course, grab a sip of water at any time if you need it. We're going to lay down and we're going to bring that ring between our thighs, coming down onto the left side. So your right knee is high, your left knee is low. From here, we're just going to squeeze and squeeze. You're squeezing that ring. It's almost like the thigh mash they used to have back in the 80s. You're just squeezing that ring between your thighs. Keep it going. That's it. All right, we're going to add on here. So coming down onto your left forearm, we're going to do 1 squeeze, 1 lower knee lift. 1 squeeze, 1 lower leg lift. 1 squeeze, 1 lift. 2 more. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. All right, we're going to rotate onto our back. You still have that ring between your thighs. Try to keep it there. Limit how much movement we're doing here. Of course, if you need to adjust it, feel free to do so. Your feet are planted, so we're in a bridge position. From here, your feet are hip width apart and parallel, so you're still actively squeezing that ring between your thighs. We're going to lift and lower the hips. You've got 10, 8 more if you're with me. Squeeze and lift, release and lower. Your shoulders are staying pressed into the floor, so you're just doing a glute bridge real lower and raise. Keep it going. All right, 4 more. Your feet are flat on the floor. All right, next one we're going to hold the hips lifted. You guessed it, squeeze and squeeze. That's it, keep it going. Tiny squeezes. Activate your core here. So draw your navel deep into your spine. Squeeze your glutes. Imagine that those glutes are a sponge. You're trying to get all the excess water out. Keep your hips lifted. Your hips are parallel. So your left hip isn't lower than the right. The right hip isn't lower than the left. Keep it going. Little squeezes. Feeling the inner thighs firing up here. That's it. Keep it going. Give me 5 more. And 4. That's 3. And 2. Last one. Lower the hips. Keep the brain just where it's at. We're going to lift the knee so your knees are bent. You still have that ring between your thighs. Palms down by your side. We're going to let the hips drop over to the right. Come back to center. Over to the left. Come back to center. You can keep your hands down by your side. You can draw your arms out to a cactus. You can draw your elbows wide behind your head or any combination. You're doing windshield wipers with bent knees and you have that ring, that block, or that pillow between your thighs, keeping additional resistance on. It should not look like a ring, so if you look down, it's not a perfect circle. If you have that ring, it's more like an oval. All right, one more on each side, and then we're going to roll onto our right side to do the same inner and outer thigh exercises. All right, so roll over onto your right side. Your left leg is high. I'm just switching sides so I can see all of you still. All right, coming on down. Your lower leg is staying on the floor here. We're just squeezing and releasing, squeeze and release. Keep it going, tiny squeeze, tinier release. Slow and controlled. That's it. Squeeze and release, squeeze and release. 2 more. And then we're going to add on. All right, now from here, you're going to give me 1 squeeze, tap the feet together, 1 squeeze, 1 lower leg lift, 1 squeeze, 1 lower leg lift, 1 squeeze, 1 lower leg lift. Keep it going. Slow and controlled, 1 squeeze, 1 lower leg lift, 1 more. All right, from here, we're going to come up. We're going to find a tabletop so you still have that ring. All right, find that tabletop. Tuck your toes. We're going to hover the knees. From here, we're just squeezing in for 10 and 9. That's 8, 7, 6, 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the knees. You can actually release that ring from between your thighs. We're going to come back onto our left side. That ring is going to go between your ankles on the floor. So this is where you would be a good spot to place that pillow between your ankles. So it's just on the inners of your ankles, coming down, laying onto your left side. Your legs can be straight. From here, we're just squeezing in. So squeeze and squeeze. 4 more. And then we're going to add on 2 more. All right. Give me 1 squeeze, 1 lift, 1 squeeze, 1 lift, 1 squeeze, 1 lift, 1 squeeze, 1 lift. Keep it going. That's it. Think slow and controlled, using that resistance as you squeeze the ring, not allowing it to come out immediately back to a circle. You're slowing it down, controlling it with your top leg. That's it. All right, give me 1 more. All right, from here, we're going to take that ring, place it directly on the floor, and then place the outer lower ankle on the inside of that bottom portion of your ankle. So if you have a block or a pillow, this isn't going to work. Just use an imagination here. We're going to lift that right leg high. So you want it higher than your hip. You want to be able to look over your right shoulder and see your right leg, your right toes. We're going to draw the knee in and then kick it through the ring or that imaginary ring. Draw the knee in, kick it above. So if you have that ring, you want to avoid touching that ring. It's a ring of fire. If you don't have a ring, just imagine you're drawing that knee in towards the same shoulder. You're kicking it about 1 inch or 2 above your lower ankle. You're drawing your knee back in towards the same shoulder, and you're kicking it up to the diagonal, a low diagonal, so you're not doing about 45. Keep it going. Knee to the chest and extend. Knee to the chest and extend. Alternating inside and outside that ring. If you have that magic circle, your lower ankle is keeping it just in place. Keep it going. All right, one more. Above, knee in, draw in, knee in, and extend. So hold that leg at that low diagonal. Now we have rainbow, so we're going to tap that right leg forward, lift it up and over, tap it behind. Now most importantly here, that ring is still fire, so try not to touch it. You want to go super slow. You want to avoid rocking your hips forwards and backwards. You can keep that top right hand boxed out in front of you if you like to challenge your balance, and only if your hips are not rocking forwards and backwards, you can lift that right arm high up towards the ceiling. If you don't have that ring, just imagining that that ring is there and you're drawing that right leg back to the furthest diagonal and up in front of that lower leg. Give me one more in each direction. All right. Go ahead and draw that knee in. We're going to grab that ring if you have it. You can grab that block or pillow if you have it now. So we have dead bugs. So we're going to draw our knees in. We're going to place the ring, that block, or that pillow to the top of our left knee. Our right hand's going to be pressing in towards that block or that pillow. We're going to send our left arm up high towards the ceiling. We're actively pressing our right hand and left knee in towards one another. Your left arm, right leg is going to extend. Draw it in. 9 more. Extend. Draw it in. Your lower back is pressed into that floor. If you feel any discomfort, if you find that a little space of air can get through your lower back and that floor, I want you to not lower your leg and your arm as far. Maybe if you lift your leg up towards the ceiling, that's perfectly fine. Never wanting to compromise form, just to complete the move. Keep it going. There's always variations that everyone can do. Keep it going. Extend. Draw it in. Extend. Draw it in. Now keep that right knee bent. Place the ring onto your right knee. Place your left hand in towards that block, that ring, or that pillow, actively pressing it so your left arm is straight, your right knee is bent, your right knee is completely static. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. We're going to extend the left leg, right arm, and draw them back to that tabletop. Neither limb is touching the floor, so the lower you go, the more challenging it is. Maybe start by extending it up towards the ceiling. See how that feels. Maybe draw it to a low diagonal. See how that feels in your body. If you would like to extend it low to the floor, make sure that your belly is not doming upwards. Make sure you're not releasing that tension between the ring and your palm and your knee, or that block or that pillow. Just extend. Draw it in. 3 more. Stay with it. We're going to come on to our right side next. Draw it in. 1 more. You got lower back press into the floor. Draw everything in. All right. We're going to rock and roll ourselves 3 times. Roll back. Nice final stretch here. And 1 more. All right. Go ahead and come on to your right side. So maybe just flipping on over. If you have that ring, that block, or that pillow, place it between your ankles. Come laying onto your right side. Your legs can be straight. You can also have a bend in the knees. We're just squeezing that ring. So your left leg is doing all the work. Your right leg is just relaxing. You're not pressing off that right side. It's just your left leg. Trying to keep that left hip stacked directly over the bottom. Avoid letting it roll side to side. Now if you have that ring, you're going to notice it's going to want to roll from forwards to back. Try to avoid letting it do that. Control it by slowing it down. That's it. Notice how if you pick up the speed, you're more likely to get a little weebly and wobbly. If you slow it down, you focus on your movements, you focus on your breath, you're able to control that object, whether it's the ring, the pillow, or the block. using what you have available, what resources are around you. Just squeezing between those ankles and lifting up. You can keep your top left hand out in front. All right, we're gonna add on here. So from here, we're gonna do one squeeze, one lower leg lift, one squeeze, one lower leg lift. Give me 3 more. Squeeze and lift. 2 more. Squeeze and lift. Last one. You've got it. Very nice. All right, from here, if you have that ring, set it flat on its upside. Place the outside of your lower right ankle on the inside of that ring. Lay back down. If you don't have a ring, you're using a block or a pillow, just set it off to the side for this round. From here, we're going to place that ring, your top leg on top, your bottom leg on the bottom, and we're just going to do little squeezes here, and squeeze, squeeze, and squeeze. That's it. Just little squeezes. All right, hold that left leg up at the diagonal so you're able to see your left toes over your left shoulder. From here, draw your knee in towards your chest, kick it through the ring. Knee in towards your chest, kick it above the ring. So if you have that ring, once again, that ring has turned to fire. You want to avoid touching it with your left toes, your left ankle, your left shin, any part of your left leg as much as possible. If you don't have a ring, just imagine you are keeping that left leg in line with your right. You're drawing it inside that imaginary ring, drawing your knee back towards your chest, and then drawing that left leg above the ring. Keep it going. Knee in and extend. Knee in and extend. That's it. Give me 2 more. Full 2. All right, 1 more. All right, when you get there, hold that left leg over the ring, the imaginary ring. We're going to tap in front and behind. Tap in front and behind. Tapping up and over. Allow that right leg to relax. Avoid letting your top left hip flow from forwards to backwards. You want to keep it stacked directly over the bottom. This is a nice hip stretch as you simultaneously work the inner and outer left thigh. Avoid pressing off that right leg. If you'd like to challenge your balance, you can lift that left arm up high towards the ceiling. If you notice you get the weebles and wobbles, that's okay. Just bring that left arm back towards the floor. Give me 1 more. All right. From here, go ahead and come on up. Grab that ring between your palms. Your knees are bent, your feet are flat on the floor. Ring between your palms, squeeze that ring, roll your waistband back. We're going to tap to the left and to the right, to the left and to the right, really twisting those obliques. Now if you want more of a challenge, if you want to add more heat to the core, roll your waistband closer towards the floor. That waistband of your pants or your shorts. If you'd still like more heat to the core, you can lift your legs. Now if your legs are lifted, even if they're bent and they're flat on the floor, I don't want those legs to move from side to side. Keep them completely still. You're only rotating your torso from right to left. All right, last one. All right, go ahead and place that ring between your ankles. One last time. All right, We're going to lean back onto our forearms. That ring is between your ankles. You can straighten your legs or you can keep them slightly bent. From here, we're just going to rotate right over left and left over right. Your navel's pulled into your spine, so your back is towards the floor. Because you're propped up on your elbows, your back is not going to be able to touch the floor. You can keep your legs straight to make it more of a challenge. You're just rotating. The deeper that rotation, the more challenging it's going to be. So if you're able to bring one ankle directly over the bottom, that's more challenging. Give me one more in each direction. All right, from here, extend your legs out. Grab that ring between your palms. Again, I'm sorry, you can also use that block or that pillow here. Your shoulders are stacked directly over your hips. Your feet are flat. Your heels are stretched in towards the floor. Toes lifted up. From here, arms are straight. Right over left. Left over right. You're back to those bus drivers. This time, using your arms. Relax your shoulders down from your ears. You're just rotating right over left. Left over right. All right. Give me one more in each direction. All right, from here, extend your arms out long. Maybe you reach forward. Maybe tap behind your toes, on your toes, or on your shins as far as you can reach. Hold your arms extended, roll all the way back. Full range of motion. Your legs stay straight, toes are flexed, slow and controlled. Lay all the way down, tap that ring, block, pillow overhead, and then roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Don't use momentum, so the slower you go, the more challenging it's going to be. Core is engaged. Tap that ring the furthest spot, behind your toes, on your ankles, your shins, rolling all the way back. Core is engaged. Lay all the way down. Tap that ring, block or pillow overhead. One more, full range of motion. Roll up and back, and then we'll stay there. Think slower, more controlled. One vertebrae at a time. Keep your heels glued to that floor, rolling all the way up. Tap that ring, blocker, pillow behind your toes, on your ankles, your shins, your knees, wherever you can reach to. And then roll all the way back, all the way down. Tap that ring overhead. All right, from here, set that ring off to the side. Draw the soles of your feet together. Bring your hands on tops of your thighs and just butterfly your knees. Maybe lifting and lowering one at a time. Palms facing up. From here, extend your legs long. Draw your right knee in toward your right shoulder, avoiding your rib cage. Left leg is long. Flex your left toes. Point, flex, circle out your right ankle. You can hold it here, or for an active stretch, tuck your chin to your chest, lift your shoulders, hover that left leg, your left toes still flexed. Point, flex, circle out that right ankle. Release your shoulders down. With your left hand, grab the outside of your right knee, releasing your right hand. Pull that right knee across the left side of your body, gazing, looking over your right shoulder. Maybe extend that right arm long to a T. You can also bend that elbow to a cactus, palm facing up. Come back through center. Draw your right knee back in towards your shoulder. Draw a few circles here with your hip. And then reversing that circle. Switching sides, left knee in towards your left shoulder. Avoid your rib cage. Right leg extends long. Flex your right toes. Point, flex, circle out your left ankle. You're welcome to stay here. If you did it on the other side and you'd like to do an active stretch on this side, flex your right toes, hover your right leg, tuck your chin to your chest. Point flex, circle out that left ankle still. Lower everything if it's lifted. Relaxing back to the earth with your right hand. Grab the outside of your left knee. Release your left hand. Draw that right knee to the outside of your right hip. Looking over your left shoulder without forcing it. Maybe extend your left arm long. You can also bend the elbow, palm facing up, cactus that arm. Draw everything back in. Left knee stays in towards the same shoulder. Draw a few circles here and reverse. Draw both knees in towards your chest. Roll from side to side. And then extending the legs, grabbing the back side of your thighs. You can also grab the outside of your feet. And just rolling from one side to the next. And happy baby here. You can come back through center, extending one leg, bending the other, ninja baby. And of course, what you do on one side, repeat on the other side. You can come to a wide straddle. You can draw the soles of the feet to touch. Draw your knees back in towards your chest. Lower your feet to the floor. Grab a block that you have. You can also use a pillow. With your feet flat on the floor, lift your hips. Place that block on its lowest setting underneath your hips. From here, lift both knees or one leg at a time up towards the ceiling. You can release your arms up as well. Point flex, circle out your legs. And then go ahead and bend your knees, one or both at a time. Plant your feet flat on the floor, lift your hips. Set that block off to the side. Go ahead and extend your legs out long, heels to touch, toes to fall open, palms down by your side, palms face up to receive. Focusing here on your breathing. And then extending your arms long overhead, rolling to the left or the right side. Draw your knees in towards your chest, coming into fetal position. From here, go ahead and press yourself up. Draw the soles of the feet together, butterfly your knees open. Draw your arms up high overhead. Hands to prayer. Fantastic work to everyone. Thank you so very much. Again, this is Yogalates. My name's Amanda. Namaste. See you all next time. Thank you.